السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله الذي جعل الشمس والقمر حسبانا والنجم والشجر يسجدان، فضل إنسانا على إنسان، زمانا على زمان، كما فضل مكانا على مكان. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا وأعلانا وأولانا ومولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. Welcome to Quranic Arabic Academy. Arabic Grammar Made Easy, lesson number 14. ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد رسولا. In this lesson, we're going to understand the al-fi'l al-majhul, the passive voice. These are the fi'ls. We need to memorize and learn them. And these fi'ls we made into 6 groups. First group, we call it Nasara group. The second group is Fataha group. And the third group is the Daraba group. And we can see the rest of the verb. We can see the middle letter of these 3 groups. The middle letter has a fatha on it. Fataha, the fatha on it. Daraba, ra is the middle letter, fatha on it. The fourth group, we have Sami'a. Now here we can see the second letter as a kasra. The fifth group is Hasiba. And here the second letter as a kasra as well. And the sixth group is Karuma. The second letter here has a dhamma on it. Now memorize these 6 groups. When we do al-fi'l al-mudari, it will help you a lot. And at the same time, memorize the rest of the verbs. Let's recap very quickly. We started with making jumla, sentence in Arabic. There are 2 types of sentences. One is a jumlatul ismiya, another one is al jumlatul fi'liya. Jumlatul ismiya has 2 parts, mubtada and khabar. These are the rules to apply in al jumlatul ismiya. The mubtada is generally ma'arifa. The khabar is generally nakira. Mubtada is marfu' in terms of i'rab. Khabar is also marfu' in terms of i'rab. In terms of an-naw', the gender, and al-adad, the number, the khabar has to match or agrees the mubtada in gender and in number. Jumlatul fi'liya, obvious, it needs a fail first. Fail, then it has other slots. Every fail needs a fa'il, and the i'rab of fa'il is marfu', and the rest of the slots we can add one by one, and the rest of the slots will be in mansub case. So after fa'il, what we can add is the object maf'ulun bihi. There are some fails, they just complete the sentence with fail and fa'il, that's it. But there are some many verbs that require an object. Without the object, the maf'ul bihi, the sentence is not complete. So we need a maf'ul bihi, and the i'rab of maf'ul bihi is mansub. Another thing we can add, some maf'uls will need, some fails will need 2 maf'uls. So the first maf'ul we call maf'ul bihi awwal, and the second maf'ul we call it maf'ul bihi thanin, and the i'rab is mansub, as we've said. Other than fa'il, the rest of the slots in jumla fi'liya will be in mansub case. Another thing we can add maf'ulun fihi. Maf'ulun fihi is those isms gives us the meaning of place or time. For example, if I have qalamun, a pen, is a solid ism. Is something we can see, something we can touch. Qalamun. So the qalamun will be maf'ul bihi. Qalamun cannot be maf'ul fihi because qalamun does not give us the meaning of time or place. The meaning of time and place, the special nouns. For example, amama, which is the meaning of place, in front of, amama, wara'a, behind. These are the example. Fawqa, top, tahta, under. All these are maf'ulun. If it comes in jumla fi'liya, it will be maf'ulun fi, because it gives the meaning of place. And the meaning of time, for example, al-yawma, today. Al-yawma. And shahrun, the month. Usbu'un, week. And sanatun. All these give us the place of time. What is the i'rab maf'ulun fihi? Again is mansub. Another thing we can add, well, maf'ulun fihi is when the fa'il was doing the action, he was doing in a place. When the fa'il, the doer, is doing the action, he is doing the action or did the action in the past while in a place. So that will maf'ulun fihi. Another thing we can add is hal. Hal is to give us the meaning that when the fa'il was doing the action, in what state or condition or circumstance he was in. So that's called hal. The hal is also mansub. Alhamdulillah, so far we did all this, fail, then fa'il, maf'ulun bihi, maf'ulun bihi thaniyan, maf'ulun fihi, and hal. Our sentence is growing bigger and bigger. And alhamdulillah, so far I hope you have understood what is maf'ul bihi, what is maf'ul bihi thaniyan, what is maf'ul fihi, and what is hal. If you are not sure about any of them, go to the relevant video and go through the lesson again. So next time when we read the Quran and we see any of these, we'll easily and quickly identify them so we can translate straight away. There are a few other slots we can add as we go in the lesson. We'll be adding those things. The siyagh al-fi'l al-madi. We started with fi'l al-madi or al-fi'l al-madi. There are 14 forms of al-fi'l al-madi. So we have mudhakkar ghaib, the third person masculine, al-mufrad, al-muthanna, and al-jama'. Then we have mu'annath ghaib, the third person feminine, again mufrad, muthanna, and al-jama'. Let's go through these 14 forms. We've taken another verb today, amila. Amila means to do work. Amila, over here we've learned that we are adding a damir. These damirs are special, only comes with fi'l al-madi. So here the alif al-ithnain, amilu. Over here we can see the waw al-jama'a. Amilat, this ta as-sakina is to make al-fi'l al-madi mu'annas, a feminine. Amilata, again here we're adding the alif al-ithnain and ta is for mu'annas. عملنا, the noon over here is called نون النسوة. نون النسوة. Now we have here 6 forms for second person. مذكر مخاطب, the second person masculine. عملت, over here the ta is تاء الفاعل. عملتما, over here تما is also تاء الفاعل. الجمع عملتم, the tum ضمير is also تاء الفاعل. عملتي is for مؤنث مخاطب, تا again is تاء الفاعل. عملتما, تما is the تاء الفاعل, and عملتن, تن is the تاء الفاعل again. Actually, if you want to break them up and understand a bit more, the tuma, the ta is the تاء الفاعل, and the mim and alif is for مثنى or tathniya, the dual form of it. عملتم, here the ta is the تاء الفاعل, and mim is for جمع مذكر عاقل. And over here the tunna for جمع مؤنث عاقل. عملت, عملتما, عملتم, عملتي, عملتما, عملتن. Next is 2 forms of mutakallim, the first person or the speaker. عملت is used for مذكر and مؤنث, and the ta over here is تاء الفاعل, and for مثنى and for جمع مذكر and مؤنث عملنا, over here the na is na al-fa'ilin. So this na is also sometimes called na al-mutakallimin. Na al-mutakallimin. So we can use this na al-mutakallimin as well. Okay? Because if we use na al-fa'ilin, this na sometimes comes in as a mansub. This na sometimes comes as a maf'ulun bih. So if it's maf'ulun bih, then we have to say na al-maf'ulin. Na al-maf'ulin. So if we just learn a standard name for this, na al-mutakallimin, we can use for both. If it comes in place of fa'il, like over here, and when it comes in the place of maf'ul, instead of giving a 2 name, we can give just 1 name for both. So if it comes in place of fa'il, it's called na al-fa'ilin. If this na comes in place of maf'ul, called na al-maf'ulin. We just learn na al-mutakallimin, can use in both cases. So over here we can say عملنا, na al-mutakallimin is coming in as a fa'il. Okay. So in the last lesson we've learned the damirs, those are attached to fi'l al-madi, damir al-mansub, al-muttasil. For this na, it will be in place of maf'ul. Then we have to identify this. We have to call that na al-maf'ulin. We cannot say na al-fa'ilin anymore. Na al-fa'ilin when it comes as a fa'il. But when this na comes as a maf'ul, we say na al-maf'ulin. But if we just use mutakallimin, we can use for both. Understood this part? The point I'm making about the na al-fa'ilin or na al-maf'ulin, na al-mutakallimin. So these are the 14 forms of al-madi. Let's go through the ad-damir al-mansub al-muttasil we've learned in the last lesson. الضمير المنصوب المتصل. These damirs, they are in three groups. The first group is for al-ghaib, third person. The second group is for al-mukhatab, the second person. And the third group is the al-mutakallim, the first group. So let's see. Al-ghaib. In this group, there are 6 damirs. Who, huma, hum, they are for mudhakkar. And ha, huma, hunna, they are for muannas. So these 6 damir al-mansub al-muttasil for ghaib. Next, al-mukhatab, again we have 6. Ka, huma, hum, these 3 are used for mudhakkar, second person. And ki, huma, kun, these 3 are used for muannas, second person. And the third group is al-mutakallim, the speaker. It has the ya. This ya is called ya al-mutakallim. Ya al-mutakallim. And the na al-mutakallimin. Na al-mutakallimin, because this na comes as maf'ul, we say na al-maf'ulin. Okay, so again we have 14 forms of الضمير المنصوب المتصل. Again, if you haven't memorized them, this is the time to memorize these. الضمير المتصل. Next we have الضمير المنصوب المنفصل. It is only one ضمير, which is إيا. And then to identify who are we using this ضمير for, after إيا we add the ضمير المنصوب المتصل with it. Let's go through them quickly. الغائب إياه إياهما إياهم إياها إياهما إياهن. The 6 is for غائب. Next is al-mukhatab. Again we have the 6 forms. إياك. So over here the إيا is the damir. The other words we are adding, those are to tell us for whom using this damir for. So إياك we're using for al-mufrad mudhakkar mukhatab. إياكما, the kuma is telling us dual mukhatab. إياكم jama mukhatab mudhakkar. Next إياكي إياكما إياكن. And al-mutakallim إيايا and إيانا. So we have learned these in the last lesson and how to do the i'rab of this. Is the إيا is always مبني على السكون. مبني على السكون. And the word we call them harf. The harf we see is علامة الغائب. For the who is علامة الغائب. ها علامة الغائب. ما, all these, هم علامة الغائب. إياهن علامة الغائب for جمع مؤنث. وهي إياك, the كاف حرف is مبني على الفتح علامة المخاطب. Same thing over here. إيايا, the ya is the harf here and it is علامة المتكلم المفرد مذكر or مؤنث. Okay. Now in the past we've learned 5 properties of a fail. So let's go through them. 5 properties. Number 1 is zaman, tense. The fail will give us the meaning of a tense, either the past tense, present tense, or the future tense. If the fi'l is giving us the past tense, we've learned it, it is called al-fi'l al-madi. If a fi'l gives us the meaning of present, it is called al-fi'l al-mudari'. The fi'l mudari is also used for future tense. Another fi'l is fi'l al-amri, is used to give command or request or advice. Number 2, al-i'rab, the state. So fi'l madi is mabni, as we've learned. Al-fi'l al-mudari will be mu'rab, as we've learned. And fi'l al-amri also will be mabni. Number 3, and now gender. Fi'l also has a gender, as we've learned. If the fa'il is mudhakkar, we use the fi'l mudhakkar, which is on the scale of fa'ala. And if the fa'il is mu'annath, we use the fi'l, the mu'annas form, which is on the scale of fa'alat. We just add the ta'u sakina to make it fi'l mu'annath. Next, ma'lumun and majhulun, active voice and passive voice. So all this time we'll be learning al-fi'l al-madi. It is ma'lum. We've learned the ma'lum. In today's lesson, we're going to look at or learn majhul. We'll talk about that when we go. Number 5 is muthbat and manfi, affirmation and negation. So far, we are learning muthbat, fi'l, that gives the meaning of affirmation, mean someone did the action. Manfi will be did not do. Past tense, الفعل الماضي. Let's go back to ma'lumun and majhulun. Again, ma'lumun is a term we used in this sentence. The fa'il, the doer, is a noun, ma'lum, noun. Majhul means the fa'il is unknown. In the sentence, the doer is unknown. Because the doer is unknown, the doer is not mentioned in the sentence. It is unknown. You don't know who did it. So you cannot mention the fa'il. You cannot mention the doer in the sentence. The majhul is that. So let's see some of the rules on how to make al-fi'l al-madi lil-majhul. Al-fi'l al-majhul, the passive voice. The fi'l al-majhul is made like this. Suppose we have these letters. On the first letter, put a dhamma. Second to last letter, put a kasra. If it's 4-letter verb, 5-letter verb, 6-letter verb, or 3-letter verb, doesn't matter. All you have to do is the first letter of al-fi'l al-madi gets a dhamma, and the second to last letter gets a kasra. The rest of the letters remains the same. So here, first letter gets a dhamma, second to last letter is a kasra. So this will be al-fi'l al-majhul. The fi'l al-majhul gives the meaning of was, because we don't know the doer. The action was done on something or someone, or was. The fi'l majhulun don't have a fa'il. Instead, it has naibul fa'il, the substitute subject, which is actually maf'ul bihi. In al-fi'l al-ma'lum, this is actually maf'ul bihi. So because there is no fa'il, the maf'ul bihi takes the place of a fa'il and it is given a name, naibul fa'il. The naibul fa'il comes in marfu case because the maf'ul bihi has taken the place of fa'il. And what is the i'rab of fa'il? Marfu. So this naibul fa'il will be in marfu case, and all the rules of fa'il is applied. All the rules of fa'il. One of the rule is if the fa'il is mudhakkar, the fa'il will be mudhakkar. If the fa'il is muannath, the fa'il will be muannath. Same thing here. If the naibul fa'il is mudhakkar, the fa'il is mudhakkar. If the naibul fa'il is muannath, the fa'il will be muannath. Next, the fa'ilun majhul can have all other slots that a fa'ilun ma'loom has. All this time we've been doing fa'ilun ma'loom. What are the slots? Like maf'ulun bihi. It will have maf'ulun bihi. It will have maf'ulun fihi. Or it can have hal. For other slots we're going to be learning, we can use all of them with maf'ul bihi. But it does not have maf'ul bihi thanin. Does not, because maf'ul bihi awwal will take the place of fa'il, and maf'ul bihi thanin will become maf'ul bihi awwal. Sometimes very rare those fa'il requires 3 maf'uls. They're very rare fa'ils that require 3 maf'uls. In those cases, yes, it may have maf'ul bihi thanin, but the rest of the verb will not have maf'ul bihi thani. Okay, that's it. This is all you need to know about al-fi'lul majhul. I've tried my best to make it as simple and easy as possible. The way to make fi'l majhul, put dhamma on the first letter and kasra on the second to last letter. Fi'l majhul gives the meaning of was. There is no fa'il in the sentence. Instead, it has naibul fa'il. And the i'rab of naibul fa'il is marfu. And all the rules we apply, that rule we apply for fa'il. And fi'l majhul can have all other slots like maf'ul bihi, maf'ul fihi, hal, and the other slots we going to learn. Understood? Yeah, there's a question, what does, for example, what does iya mean? As we've learned in the last lesson, I think you need to go back to the last lesson, the person who asking question. In the last lesson, we have learned the iya comes for emphasis, gives us a more stronger meaning. So we did, yes, in the last lesson, that iyahu, he is the one. Iyahu, he is the one. Iyaka, you are the one. Iyaya, I am the one. Well, it is me. Iyaya is me, or I am the one. All right. So these are the rules of al-fi'lul majhul. So we'll be looking at some examples. So everything that we did in for fi'lun ma'lumun, we'll be doing here as well. A little i'rab will change. We need to change, instead of fa'il, you have to say naibul fa'il. The i'rab of the fi'l itself, now we have to mention majhul. The word majhul, we need to mention that. All this time, because it is known, So we don't need to mention فعل ماض معلوم. We don't need to mention that. But now, because it is a special case, when it is a فعل المجهول in Arab, we mention that. Now let's look at some examples. First example is the normal جملة الجملة الفعلية. Okay. normal الجملة الفعلية. So we need فعل فاعل مفعول. The فعل is خلق. The file is لفظ الله in رفع case, and the مفعول به is الإنسان. خلق الله الإنسان. Straightforward تركيب خلق فعل لفظ الله فاعل الإنسان مفعول به. Translation: Allah created man. Allah created man, humans. Again, the Arab خلق فعل ماض مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. الله لفظ الجلالة فاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. الإنسان مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. So this was the for فعل المعلوم. Why? Because over here the doer is mentioned in the sentence. Now we'll convert this sentence into into al-fi'l al-majhul. Over here we just need to remember this. Naibul fa'il is marfu, and if it has a maf'ulun bihi, will be mansub. So most of the time it is only the fi'l majhul and naibul fa'il. Most of the time. Sometimes we may have maf'ulun bihi. We mentioned that as well. So what we need to do here is change my keyboard first. Okay. The khalaqa, which is kha, this is فعل ماض للمعلوم. خلق, normal verb. Now we need to make this into al-fi'l al-majhul. Let's apply the rule. The first letter gets a dhamma. The second to last letter gets a kasra. Second to last letter in our case is the lam, because the qaf is the last letter. Second to last letter, the lam. And the rest of the letters remain the same. The qaf is the only letter, it will remain the same. So it becomes khuliqa. In the normal jumla, the lafz Allah was the doer. Over here, no doer, no fa'il, instead naibul fa'il. In the previous lesson, in the previous example, al-insana was the maf'ul bihi, so that maf'ul bihi will take the place of fa'il, because there is no fa'il. Al-insan. What is the i'rab of this naibul fa'il? Because in the slot of fa'il, this word is put in the slot of fa'il, which is marfu. Dhamma. So now is our jumla is ready. خلق الإنسان. خلق الإنسان. The تركيب خلق فعل ماضي مجهول. فعل ماضي مجهول. الإنسان نائب الفاعل. Translation: man was created. Man was created. Man did not come just like that from anywhere. Man was created. We know who's the creator, Allah, but in the sentence, not mentioned. خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ, man was created. Let's look at the Arab of these both words. Arab, خُلِقَ فعل ماض للمجهول. We mentioned that, okay? فعل ماض للمجهول. It is always مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. The same. This is all you need to do when you see the فعل مجهول. This is how to do the Arab. Exactly the same as we did for فعل معلوم. Only the word we need to add is للمجهول. خلق فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح. Why? We can see the فتحة from the قاف and it is ظاهر, visible. لا محل له من الإعراب. فعل ماضي, normally it doesn't have any slot in the sentence. Only one case, the فعل ماضي will have a slot in this sentence. We'll look at that later. Next, الإنسان نائب الفاعل. What is the name of this? نائب الفاعل. The Arab is مرفوع. وعلامة رفع ضمة الظاهرة على آخره. All right. Simple, easy. Understand? Okay, the question, you got the answer. Yeah, what is the difference between خلق and خلق? Got the answer. خلق needs a fa'il, the doer. خلق needs a نائب الفاعل. So the difference is خلق, the fa'il is there in the sentence, it is visible. What you can say, it is seeable, it is readable, it is translatable. But in fail majhul, not visible, it's not seeable, it's not translatable, it's not there. The slot is there, marfu, but the other words take the place of that. Man was created. So let's look at other examples. Inshallah, you will understand. Here, the word nusira. By looking at it, we can see it's fail majhul. Why? The first letter dhamma, second to last letter kasra. Because normal fail we've learned is nasara. Nasara is the fail madi lil ma'lum. Over here we can see is a nusira. So nusira needs what? Nusira needs fa'il or naibul fa'il. What does it need? Is fail majhul? Fail majhul needs what? Okay, it needs, yes, naibul fa'il. Let's put the naibul fa'il, nusira hamidun. Who helped Hamid? We don't know. Want to know. But he was helped. Only the thing we know is Hamid was helped. نصرة. تركيب فعل ماضي مجهول نصرة حامد نائب الفاعل. Hamid was helped. Arab. Let's look at it. نصرة فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. أنا حامد نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. right? The Arab of fa'al majhul will be exactly the same. All the examples you're going to have up to here is exactly the same. Only this will change. Whatever the fa'al majhul is, we put it here, and the rest from fi'lun, from here all the way, will be exactly the same. And naibul fa'il again will be exactly the same all the way. Only the thing we change is slot. Put it here, the word here. حامد حامد نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفع الضمة الظاهرة على آخره, because we can see the ضمة on the dal. Next, فتح is فعل مجهول. فتح. What we can have for نائب الفاعل? Everyone knows الباب. فتح الباب. Who opened the bab? We don't know. Who opened the door? Don't need to know. Just to know the door was opened. Tarkib and translation. The door was opened. إعراب فتح فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. الباب نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Next, كتب. كتب is to write. كتب, or to prescribe, or to make something compulsory. Or كتب has all this meaning. The normal meaning we know is to write. كتب also to apply something on someone, to make something mandatory. Okay. كتب comes for this. So كتب الصيام. كتب الصيام is the jama of صوم, fasting. الصيام. كتب الصيام. Don't need to know who made it compulsory, but it was made compulsory. Fasting was made compulsory. Fasting was prescribed. The fasting was prescribed. كتب الصيام. إعراب كتب فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. الصيام نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على. First time I have understood a lesson. Well, only understood this lesson. What about all the previous lesson? I have worked so hard, all the previous lessons. You're saying that you did not understand any other lessons. You're understanding only this lesson. Okay, Alhamdulillah for that. Yep. Can we say fasting was prescribed by Allah? Is the word Allah mentioned here? No, the word Allah is not mentioned here. So no, we can't say that. But we know who's prescribed it. We know it's Allah the one who's prescribed it. But the word is not mentioned here, so we don't say that. Right, let's move on. Futihat. So over here, because it's muannas, we know the naibul fa'il will be muannas. Why is the kasra at on the ta? We'll see in a minute. Because the next word has alif lam, two sakin coming together. That's why we need to put a kasra on the ta. فتحت السماء فتحت السماء. فتح is فعل مجهول, means to open. السماء is the sky. Now over here we're going to translate as it is. We're going to translate as we are learning. In the Quran, there may be a different translation, because in the Quran there'll be some other words added before or after. It gives a different, yeah. But over here we'll translate as it is. We are learning. Futihat, opened. Who opened it? No need to know. It's not mentioned anyway. What was open? As-sama'u, the sky. The sky was opened. In the Quran, when Allah talks about this, He talks about on the day of judgment, on the day of judgment. The day of judgment in the future, isn't it? So in the Quran will be translate, because there was a either or if is mentioned, when the sky will be opened. So over here, because we're not adding other things, we're just translating as it is. فتحت السماء, the sky was opened. Arab, again, whatever we see, we need to mention everything. فتحت فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. والتاء تاء التأنيث الساكنة حرف لا محل له من الإعراب. We've learned all these. There's no new thing here. We've learned everything. Whatever we say, just mention that. السماء نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. Right? There's a question. Sentence is مفعول به أول مفعول به. Can please explain? Wait. Yes, you need to wait. Everything is coming one by one. Right. Next. Nusira. Again, we had this verb before. Let's see what we can have. Nusira. Al-Muslimun. All these examples, the Na'ibul Fa'il was Al-Mufrad. Now let's look at Al-Na'ibul Fa'il as Jama' Mudhakkar Salim. Nusira al-Muslimun. Now we can translate. Come on. Translate this sentence. Nusira al-Muslimun. While you translate, I do the tarkib. Nusira فعل ماضي مجهول المسلمون نائب الفاعل. نائب الفاعل. MashaAllah, straightforward. The Muslims were helped. The Muslims were helped. Yep. أعراب نصر فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. المسلمون. The way we did the Arab Muslimuna, same thing here. No difference. Al-Muslimuna, only the name we mentioned in the slot. The name of the slot is Naibul Fa'il. Naibul Fa'il marfu'un wa alamatu raf'ihi al-wawu. The waw here, the alamat of Jama' Mudhakkar Salim. لأنه جمع مذكر سالم. Now, We got 3 boxes here. This is your answer. We'll have a مفعول به here. جعل. جعل is to make, and we know جعل. So in our Telegram group, I did mention some notes about the fail جعل. I think those of us in the group, you may have seen it. جعل sometimes can have only one مفعول, sometimes can have 2 مفعول, according to the context of the sentence. So let's make it fail majhul. Put the dhamma on the first letter and kasra on the second to last letter. Because we only have 3 letter verb here, the second to last letter is always the middle letter. If we have 4 letter verb, which we're going to learn later on, same second to last letter. The middle letters will remain the same. If we have 5 letter verb, again, second to last letter will have a kasra. Second to last letter. Only you have to remember, second to last letter has a kasra. So ju'ila, ju'ila. Let's see what is the naibul fa'il. Ju'ila nuhun. Ju'ila nuhun. Nuh alayhi salam was made. Made what? So here we need will be he. Right. Ju'ila nuhun. You guessed it. Nabiyan. جعل نوح نبيا. وهي التركيب جعل فعل ماضي مجهول, نوح نائب الفاعل, نبيا normal مفعول به. In normal sentence, if the فعل is فعل ماضي للمعلوم, then نوحا will be the مفعول به أول, and the نبيا مفعول به ثاني. So over here, the maf'ul bihi awwal, which is the Nuh, the word Nuh has taken the place of fa'il, and maf'ul bihi thani has taken the place of maf'ul bihi awwal. Understand? Ju'ila Nuhun Nabiyyan. Translation: Nuh alayhi salam was made a prophet. Nuh alayhi salam was made a prophet. Now over here we do the Arab, only extra word is here, maf'ul bihi, nabiyan. We know how to do the Arab of maf'ul bihi. جعل فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. In one breath. But there's nothing new here, all same. نوح نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. If you just do a few sentences, practice few sentences, you'll know this by heart. You'll know this by heart. Practice, practice. نبيا مفعول به منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Was that hard? No, it wasn't hard. We did all this. We just have to think a little bit. فجعل فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. I mentioned last time, you don't need to mention for فعل ماضي is known, it is مبني, so there's no need to mention لا محل له من الإعراب. If you do, it's okay. نوح نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفع الضمة الظاهرة على آخره. نبيا مفعول به منصوب, because مفعول به is always منصوب, علامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Right? So we have here مفعول به. That's another example. only two slots here. خطب. خطب. So خطب is to give a khutbah, to give a lecture. خطب. خطب فعل مجهول. Who did the khutbah? Who gave the speech? Don't know. Don't need to know. خطب. Let's see what is the naibul fa'il, and we have any other thing here. I missed something. I will do it as we go. خطب اليوم. What does اليوم, what meaning does يوم give? It gives the meaning of today, yes. So what will be the name of the slot here? يوم, is it a something, a name for a solid thing? Something we can touch, something we... Yes, I mean to say time, ظرف. Okay, ظرف. Well done. So ظرف, what is the slot of ظرف in the jumla? The slot name is any ism that comes as a ظرف. The slot name in al-jumlatul fi'liya is... Yes, I know it is. I'm not talking about Arab. I'm talking about the name of the slot. Yes. مفعول فيه. Let's do the translation. The khutbah was given today. The lecture was given today. Because we all know what khutbah is, that's why I just left khutbah. The khataba is to give khutbah. The khutbah was given today. So, as I said, I think I did something wrong here. I need to change it. Okay. So let's look at the Arab. خطب فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. أن اليوم مفعول فيه منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Can anyone tell me what did I miss here? What did I miss here? Let's change the name of the slot, then we will know. Just see this, and this will be the مفعول فيه. Is مفعول فيه. Right. What did I miss here? That's right, naibul fa'il. Okay, you do the Arab. What is the naibul fa'il? Right. To save time, let me just do the Arab. ونائب الفاعل ضمير مستتر جواز. Right, sorry about that. There's something just disconnected for a little bit. We are online again. So here, okay. So ونائب الفاعل ضمير مستتر جوازا تقديره هو. right? and اليوم is مفعول فيه منصوب. Okay, I think we have one more. I will add that bit later on after the lesson. In the notes, you will get that. Let's look at the another example. خلق. Yeah, again, we know this فعل. خلق الإنسان. So it should be الإنسان because نائب الفاعل. خلق الإنسان ضعيفا. ضعيفا. Now think, what is ضعيفا? The meaning, what the meaning gives ضعيفا? Is there something solid? ضعيفا. Or is it a description? It is a description. ضعيفا is a description. Or this can be ضعيفا. Yeah, let's do it quickly. حال. حال. خلق فعل ماضي مجهول. الإنسان نائب الفاعل. And ضعيفا is حال here. The human was created weak. Man was created weak. As we've learned in the lesson of hal, that normally the hal comes on the scale of fa'ilun, is known as ismul fa'il. There are other scales. Those will be the 4-letter word. And here da'if is another ismul fa'il. On this scale, normally from the group karuma. From the group karuma comes on this scale. فعيل, for example. ضعيف. ضعيف. So it is ismul fa'il, and ismul fa'il in this sentence comes as a hal. Right? The man was created. خلق فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب. الإنسان, I need to change that. Okay. الإنسان نائب الفاعل مرفوع وعلامة رفع ضمة ظاهرة على آخره. ضعيفا حال منصوب علامة نصب الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره. Understand? So all other slots, as we've learned in فعل ماضي للمعلوم, the slots we've learned all can come here as well. So we've seen مفعول به, we've seen مفعول فيه, and here we've seen the حال. Okay. 2 more example left. We'll do that quickly. غفر. غفر. Over here, again, the naibul file, as I said, all the rules of a file will be applied here. One of the rule of file is file can come as ism zahir, or it can come adamir. Same thing here. Naibul file comes as ism zahir, a noun, or it also can come as a damir. Over here they say we don't have ism zahir here, so it will be a damir here. We did one example before. غفر. فعل ماضي مجهول ونائب الفاعل is the هو. Translation: he was forgiven. إعراب: غفر فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب والنائب الفاعل ضمير مستتر جوازا تقديره هو. right? Because here the naibul file coming as a damir. So all the damirs we learned for فعل ماضي للمعلوم like ألف الاثنين واو الجماعة نون النسوة تاء الفاعل الناء الفاعلين all can come here as well. So let's see one another example. ضربت. The ta over here is تاء الفاعل. ضربت. Second to last letter has a kasra. The first letter is a dhamma. ضربت. تركيب is easy, one word. فعل ماضي مجهول ونائب الفاعل you were hit. You were. Who hit you? We don't know. ضربت فعل ماض للمجهول مبني على الفتح الظاهر لا محل له من الإعراب والتاء تاء الفاعل ضمير متصل مبني على الفتح في محل رفع نائب الفاعل. We did all these. Just have to mention here again. والتاء تاء الفاعل ضمير متصل مبني على الفتح في محل رفع نائب الفاعل. Okay, so this is the end of lesson 14. I try my best to make the videos as short as possible, but some examples I need to put in so we can understand. Other example I left here, for example, of al-muthanna coming as a naibul fa'il, then that should be easy. Yeah? I left the example of jama muannas salim. That should be easy as well. So we just have to bear with it. Yeah. Now spend some time, go through this video again if you did not understand. But if you do understand, alhamdulillah, but you're going to forget in a few days. Go through this video again or do some practice. Do your own فعل ماضي للمجهول. When you read the Quran, look at some of the فعل ماضي للمجهول. All you have to look is first letter dhamma, second to last letter kasra. You have الفعل الماضي المجهول. So inshallah we'll see in the next lesson. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.